Now, might make you a little bit sick to your stomach, but I need y'all to bear with me. All right. I know I'm not sure if y'all heard about the Amy Cooper lady who called the cops on the black guy in Central Park. Man, it's crazy. Let's check this clip out.
Please stop. Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to
And
me.
I'm taking a picture and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Excuse me? I'm sorry, I'm in the Ramble, and there is a man, African-American, he has a bicycle helmet. He is recording me and threatening me and my dog. There is an African-American man, I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog. And my... I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man in the Ramble. Please send the cops immediately. I'm in Central Park in the Ramble. I don't know.
Thank you.
Man, that was wild. Scary, but unfortunately, it wasn't unexpected or unanticipated. This is okay. Let's just go take a step back really quick. Obviously, she's wrong. I hope that there's no debate about this. I really do. Somebody somewhere might try to debate it. Because this is just how the world is in 2020. But I think that for the most part, everybody is in agreement that she was wrong. Right? Okay, cool. But let's just take a step back. With confidence, she knew that she could, one, break the law, which, and by the way, in that area of Central Park, you're supposed to have a leash on your dog. As you could see, by the way the dog was acting, she literally had to choke the damn dog, which was wrong to begin with. She just wasn't paying attention. But the reason she was holding on so tight to the dog is because the dog was wilding out. It's probably why the black guy, look, black people, we generally try to mind our own business. This is what we're taught at a very young age. Mind your damn business. Mind your business, boy. Mind your business. This thing, except for in one scenario. Whose damn dog is this? It's just a thing. I used to be so scared of dogs when I was a kid. You always feel like the dogs only chase after black people when you're young. I don't know why. It just is what it felt like. But that's the only time we're like, hold up, wait a minute, whose dog is this? I'm not trying to get bit. So she was breaking the law. The guy asked her to please abide by the law in this very public location for my safety. And she felt confident enough that she could call the cops, make up a lie, fake like she was being terrorized by a black guy, and then get him in trouble. She knew what would likely be the outcome if he wasn't recording, if we're being honest. If they showed up on that scene, he would be shot or immediately arrested, which would have, of course, maybe he would have been bailed out, but the financial burden would have been put on him, not her. She knew viscerally that if I call the cops, I've been taught, I know, because this is something that is it's one of those things that's like a truism. You know, but you're not allowed to say it, but you act upon it all the time. And what she knows to be true, like most white women, the cops are my personal militia to deploy whenever I see fit. When someone steps between me and my entitlement, I can call them whenever the hell I want to, and they will take my side. 98% of the time. Because I know what a lot of people like to say. Well, that's not, just because this situation happened to this black guy doesn't mean it was a racist act. Just because this situation happened to this black woman doesn't mean it's a racist act. But how come situations never happen to white women specifically? Have y'all ever noticed that? The one time that a white woman was killed by a cop that like we can all remember was because it was a foreign national. Remember, she was Australian. She was in Minnesota, and she was killed by a black person who was an African immigrant on top of that. And of course, he was immediately held accountable because it was a black man who killed a white woman who was a foreign national. But 99% of the time, you would never see a white woman killed or assaulted by a police officer, no matter who called the cops. And that's based off conditioning and a plethora of other things. But there's a reason she felt comfortable making that phone call. There's a reason she felt comfortable lying to the dispatch. There's a reason that she reacted the way she did. Like, why would you just react to someone asking you to put a dog on your, or a leash on your dog? Why would you react to that? Like what? Like that? That was like kind of like, okay, well, this was just went from 0 to 100. I don't understand. What's the issue? Why? Because how dare you, black man, tell me what to do? I'm allowed to break the law or bend the rules. It's you these laws are created for. See, I'm civilized, so I know when it's okay to break the law. I have good judgment. You were the savage these laws were created for. The police are my private militia that's meant to stomp you out. And when I call them, they'll believe whatever the hell I tell them to. You think that she just adopted that mindset because, well, I just feel like I'm special. You think it was her money that made her feel that way? Partially, but not likely. It wasn't her outfit. It wasn't like she was hanging out on the Upper West Side, so it wasn't the location. She made it clear why she felt like she could do this. Hi, there's an African American male recording me. Well, that's that's weird. I did not ask you the description yet, but okay. But she made sure to let the police know it was an African American male, because she knows if you use that buzzword and you're a white woman, how the police handle that situation. That dude, like I said, if he wasn't recording, he was going to jail or he was going to be shot. What's even crazier about this is this is the part of the narrative I feel like is not being discussed. Did you see a MAGA hat on? Did you, with that country accent and that caricature of white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and Trump supporters that everyone claims are the only racist people in this country? Did you see any of that on? You see any of that paraphernalia? Did she look like the average Trump supporter? Not saying I don't know if she is, but I would probably bank on it that she was not a Trump supporter. You see that fake outrage? Pfft, that's Hillary Clinton ranting all over. I saw a super chat says probably voted for Pete Guaido. Probably. Or Elizabeth Warren. But like I've always said, I've been attacked for it, of course, but I just know the facts when I see them. People have no idea how racist the left can be. And the higher up the ladder you go, the most elitist of the left are the most racist. And they actively prevent black people and other minorities from becoming successful unless they assimilate and accept that racism for better or for worse. You want that job, you want that title, you want that position, cool, you're going to shut up and do what I tell you to do and never question me. And we'll use you to fulfill this quota. If I had to take a guess, I would say she's probably going to vote for Joe Biden this election in the general. That, am I stereotyping? A little bit. But the only reason I'm using this example as a stereotype is because y'all have stereotyped racists as these people who just walk around with Nazi symbols on their forehead and MAGA hats. Like, and that's it. If they're not like this, then they're probably not. And if they're not racist if they don't do this stuff, if they don't vote for Trump, if they don't wear MAGA hats, then they're not, especially if they're a Democrat. They can't be racist if they're Democrats, people. But I could almost venture to say that there are almost as many racists on the left as there are on the right. The left has just gotten really, really good at pretending that they're not racist. Glory, what's up? Malcolm X told us about these liberal foxes ages ago, 100%. Malcolm X told us, Martin Luther King told us, they were warning us. It's not, she felt like she could get away with it because people get away with it all the time. White people, white women specifically. This is a culture. Why do you think that white women call the police every time there's a problem, even when there's not really one? And black people spend most of their time avoiding the police, even if they haven't done anything wrong. I walk in the opposite direction. I walk on the other side of the street. My friends do the same. Whenever you're a black person in front of a cop, you literally feel guilty of doing nothing. Like, you don't even know what you're doing. Like, man, hold up, I don't got anything on me, do I? I'm not jaywalking, am I? This is like a visceral reaction. Black Lives Matter doesn't invite the cops to their protests. Women's March, ran by white women, invites cops to their protests. I know because I interviewed one, a cop, and he was kind of confused. He was like, this is a protest, but we were paid a lot of money to be here. So I'm not really sure what the details were, but that's why we're here. We can't pretend like these people don't exist. We can't pretend like it's a one-sided issue, like it's a left or a right issue. Because why do you think that a lot, like y'all, some people, progressives specifically, don't even recognize when they're like their favorite journalists, their favorite leadership is engaging in passive aggressive racism all the time, which is the majority of the progressive movement. They'll try and crush people using racist dog whistles, engaging in pseudo-racist tactics. And if you believe in their words and some of the stuff that they say, then you've probably deified them to the point where you're not paying attention to the details, which is the devil is always in the details, especially when you're dealing with manipulators and social climbers. The world of academia is inherently racist. Or excuse me, I'm not gonna say it's racist, but it has a lot of implicit racial bias that is never discussed, and we're never gonna really address it because it's never discussed. For example, I went to University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. It's just amazing school. Like, would never probably go anywhere else for my undergrad. But with that being said, you start to notice a pattern. Black people are held to a different standard. Black men are held to a different standard because who is grading the papers? There's not a lot of black people that go into academia, people. when we go to college, our parents send us to college to get a goddamn job. You go into college to become a lawyer, a doctor, a dentist, or for sports. You ain't got time to be playing around with these art majors. You ain't got time to be going to get your PhD. Who got PhD money, as my mother would say? But in all seriousness, you're going to college because you likely have generations of family that are leaning on you for support. Whether or not, I mean, if you're black, Latino, same thing. You very rarely see Latinos and black people, Arabs, Desi, like you, maybe not so much Desi, but you just don't see it because we ain't got time to be playing with masters and PhDs for a non-guaranteed job and going into debt. So who do you see in the PhD programs and the master's programs? White people. Okay. Who are teaching assistants? White people. Who grade papers? White people. So if John Smith, and because we engaged at UNC, we participated in a program called grade deflation. We were only one of 3 schools that participated in it. UNC, Yale, and it was one other school. But if John Smith goes to you, so you got a paper, you can only have so many A's if your school engages in grade deflation. John Smith goes to you with their paper, but Maria Dominguez goes to you and both of their papers were amazing. Well, the truth of the matter is, Maria Dominguez is just happy to be at a top 2 school. She's the first in her family to go to college. She is proud of what she achieves, and an A- is overachieving. Her family would see that and be ecstatic. Why would she argue about that? Why would she assume she did better? However, John Smith has been told by his family, oh, no, you don't accept A-, because that's not what you do. That's not what we do. You are entitled to the grade that you deserve, and you argue for it. And those type, nuclear white families kind of instill that confidence, especially in their men. And knowing that John Smith, because of his background, is more likely to challenge you than Maria Dominguez, because of her background, who do you think you're going to give the A to, and who do you think you're going to give the A- or B+ to? Because those are the teaching assistants are white, and they understand this. Do you know how many times I had to get my grade changed in college in subjects that, pat myself on the back here, that some would consider me experts in at this moment? And it wasn't because of some damn grammatical error. They would say, oh, you could have argued this. I'm like, I did argue. It's right here. It's, I would have tests, people. I had a test where my friend literally used my notes to study for the exam because he was doing an internship and he didn't get a chance to put his notes together. It was a good friend. Hooked him up. Like, hey, bro, just use my notes. Cool. We have almost the exact same answers, except for I actually got more right. He got a higher grade than me. Why? Because who grades the test? And oftentimes the professors have to stick beside and stand beside the decisions of their teaching assistants. I had to bring him to the office with me to be like, what the hell is this? And have him say, I used Niko's notes and these are almost the exact same answers. So I have no idea how we got 2 different grades, especially with me getting higher. That's when my grade got changed. Everything I just discussed with you on the side of academia, that's all leftist shit. But you would never know, because then the left would have to hold a mirror up to itself and acknowledge that it does have implicit racial bias and racism within that group. And these are the facts. Now, interestingly enough, black women in college are usually given like really high marks, and they actually are I mean, they do really well. I mean, it's not, they work harder than just about everybody else, to be honest with you, in college. Like, this is just a thing. At least at UNC it was a thing. Black women, they were extremely intelligent, but they got the marks that they deserve. But black men we always had issues with this when I was at UNC. And it wasn't like these people who were grading us were inherently racist, but they were inherently biased. And they knew what they could and could not get away with based off of how society is structured. So this woman in Central Park knew what she could and could not get away with based off of what society has showed her she can, despite how people want to pretend otherwise. Interestingly enough, I haven't seen any MAGA people arguing about the fact that this woman should be arrested. It's kind of crazy. Nobody's like, oh man, we should see more of the video. We should see more of the video before we start jumping to conclusions. None of that this time, huh? Why? Because she's clearly a liberal. There's a different type of entitlement when it comes to liberals, right? You can just smell it. You can see it through. You can smell it through the camera. There's a different type of entitlement when it comes to elitist liberals. So they're like, about time somebody else got called racist for once. Gonna sit back and enjoy this. Nobody wanted to see extra footage? Well, her business didn't want to see extra footage either because she got fired. I know. I can't believe it either. She actually got fired. Now, let's be honest, everybody. I'm not sure if she got fired because of her treatment of the black guy or because of her treatment of the dog. But if her boss is white, it's probably because of the treatment of the dog. Because that's the only time white people care about how other white people treat anyone else. White people, the white elites treat their dogs generally better than they treat black people. Being honest here. Obama was lucky because I'm sure with Joe Biden, between Obama's dog and Obama himself, Joe Biden was having to make some life or death choices every day about whose ass to kiss and who to defend on a daily basis. Every time that dog pissed on the carpet of the Oval Office and Obama went to spank him, he was probably looking at him like, I can't hit the president, right? Okay, I'm gonna have to take this one. Don't worry, I got you. I'm gonna call Peter as soon as this motherfucker gets out of office. But in all seriousness, I'm glad she was held accountable. Now she needs to be held accountable by law enforcement because she literally lied. She faked being in trouble. Called 911, faked being in trouble for a false alarm. That is illegal. And in New York, it's super illegal. It's a thing. It's like a really big problem. So, you know what that means. And it's funny because, like I said, she called the cops because somebody called her out for breaking the law. So she breaks the law by faking a call to the cops and claiming someone else is actually potentially breaking the law. But she forgot that she was caught on video breaking the law. So not only is she fired from her job, but hey, every now and then you got to make an example out of somebody. And I think she should be the example. The NYPD should charge her, or the city of New York should charge her for everything that she was guilty of in that video. Everything. Let her spend her money to defend herself, just like black people have had to do for shit that we are not even caught for doing. We're not found guilty of doing, but we're just suspected of doing. And the financial burden always falls on us. So let that shit fall on her. Make her defend herself, even though she was clearly guilty. Unfortunately, I don't know if they'll be able to get away with calling it a hate crime. I don't know. Maybe the right attorney could argue it. But I would love to see somebody at least challenge the idea that that was a hate crime. But, before I go, like I said, the moral of the story that I hope everyone takes away from all of this. Yeah, the video was shocking. Yeah, the way she reacted was crazy. Yeah, the fact that that man's life was put in danger was horrific. And the way that she was choking that damn dog out, well, I wanted to throat chop her. Dog don't even like her either. You can tell the dog don't like her. But the most important thing that you should take away from that video is her confidence that she could get away with everything she was doing and the entitlement there. You know, me and my friends and my wife were walking down South Beach one day about 10, 11 in the morning, walking down the boardwalk thing that they got. This is like in the middle of spring break, so one of the busiest times of the year. This white woman was running at 11, jogging at 11 a.m. with her big ass German Shepherd and a twin stroller, twins, with her headphones in. When she ran past us, do you think she said, "Excuse me"? No. Do you think she said sorry? No. Why? Because there is a certain group of society that feels entitled to our spaces. It's black men who move when they see white women in an elevator. We move to the corner, not them. They stand right in the goddamn middle. Test it. Dead ass serious. Try it out. Go in an elevator with a white person. Hell, specifically a white woman. But go in the elevator and you stand in the corner. If you're a black person, it doesn't work. You can still probably see them stand in the middle. But if you're a black person, go in the elevator. You go stand in the corner as we always do. Watch them. Almost no matter how many people are on the elevator, like it's like 3 or 4 of them, they will stand right center in the middle because that is their space. You are just borrowing it. And that's facts. So with that being said, everybody, appreciate you all sticking around. Like I said, thank you all for the well wishes. We are back. All right. So we'll be back all week. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, always remember more than anything else, find your balance. Peace. If you like that segment of Mikasa Sukasa, don't forget to like the video and smash that subscribe button. Want access to members only live streams, behind the scenes footage, and other premium content? Well, you can endorse us on Rockfin Premium, become a patron through Patreon, or you can sign up for the MCSC Premium membership through YouTube. All the links are in the description below. But hey, more than anything else, always remember,
find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Always remember, more than anything else, find your balance.